Three, two, one. Roll film.
Let's roll tape.
Tape, film. I think it's all analog at this point.
Yeah, we're not rolling anything, actually.
No, exactly. Except for wheels on the trains and buses.
Wheels on the bus go round and round.
Don't even say that, Linda.
He invited me to.
Did actually. We need a song that hands on the basket, sanitize, sanitize, sanitize.
3, 2, 1. Score.
We are live, Chair Hansen.
Okay, great. I'd like to call this meeting of the Regional Transit Board to order. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Budge,
Here.
Director Harris,
Here.
Director Howell,
Here.
Director Hume, Director
Here.
Oh, thank you, Director Hume. Director Jennings,
Here.
Director Kennedy,
Here.
Director Miller,
Here.
Director Natoli,
Here.
Director Chenier,
Here.
Director Cerna,
Here.
Chair Hansen.
Here, Madam Clerk.
Let me try, if you don't mind, Director Kennedy one more time, please.
Okay.
Here.
Thank you, Director Kennedy. Yes.
Yep, we got you.
With that, we have a quorum at 100 votes.
Okay. Mr. Jennings, Director Jennings, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
It'd be my pleasure.
All right.
Everyone salute. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America,
the Republic,
to the republic
which
which
stands
stands
one nation,
one nation,
Dear God.
under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Director Jennings. Madam Clerk, first item.
First item is the, oops, sorry.
And if you're not speaking, please mute yourself just for the sake of the WebEx.
First item is the consent calendar, items 2.1 through 2.16. Please note that item 2.5 has been removed from the agenda and that there is a correction on item 2.8. The last bullet point has been removed. That is the bullet point that reads employee provided uniforms for paratransit operators and paratransit operator.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. Is there any public comment?
Not on any of the consent calendar items.
Director
Hello.
Budge, do you have a question?
Yes. One of the public comments that was sent today concerned the Los Rios student passes.
We have a response for that one, but
So I'm not sure whether that was public comment or whether it was an actual comment on this item.
Dave, you're muted.
Mr. Chair.
sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Henry. Sorry, I was on mute.
Congresswoman is on.
Hello.
Okay. Why don't we take a quick step away from the consent calendar? Welcome, Congresswoman Matsui. Thank you for joining us.
Well,
and,
listen, I'm so. Can you hear
the
me?
floor is yours. Yes, the floor is yours.
Well, I'm so sorry that it took so long getting on. I was getting off another conference call and I got kind of confused with the way to get to yours. So anyway, I'm very pleased to be on just to check in and say, first of all, thank you for all the great job you've all been doing. Each of you have other responsibilities, I know, beyond the SAC-RT. And it's been a challenging time, I know, but I'm proud of Sacramento and how you managed to move and despite the challenges and despite the uncertainty to, really figure out what we need to do. And and the thing is that we've been in this since, I guess, about the beginning of March or so. And I think the way things have been going recently with opening up carefully is really very important. Your leaders and you understand how important it is to have everybody stay safe and do all the right things as far as the health concerns. But I do want to say thank you very much. SAC-RT has been right there. And I know that when you're in the transit business, it's been very, very difficult. I know your ridership has gone down. The fact of the matter is that with sheltering in and the distancing that we've had to do, you've been remarkable in trying to move forward. And I do thank you very much for doing things for the community like the Wi-Fi, extending Wi-Fi for young people and others. And so I just wanted to check in with you to let you know that we're trying as best we can here. I know that with the CARES Act, we got some funding to you all, which has been very helpful, I know. And we're trying to get money from the HEROES Act too, which the House passed, and it's waiting for the Senate to act. But there's definitely more money, public transit money, and that too for emergency relief funding. We really believe that local responsibilities that you all have are really great. And it's time really that everybody appreciates that states and cities and counties have the greatest job right now in order to ensure that we can move forward. So I really do thank you so much for everything you're doing. And we now have obviously not only the COVID crisis, but also the police crisis too, which we're dealing with at the federal level. Legislation was just introduced today, which I believe is good legislation. And I believe that it's going to be moving forward. I know that Judiciary Committee is going to be meeting this week for a hearing, and next week, hopefully, for markup. So things are moving here. We know how difficult it is. And yet, I think all of us understand that there has been in our country from the very beginning, so the original sin and the systemic racism that has been throughout our history, which now this time though, with the movement becoming more of a cultural moment now, which I believe more people are involved, big and small cities, states, big and small states, and also the fact that we have all kinds of people there. You've got people who are professionals, you've got people who have hourly jobs, you've got young people, you've got older people, you've got Black, white, Asian, you've got American Indian, you've got everybody there. And I think that what we believe, and I think you believe too, is that this is a moment to really address some of these concerns that have been there for a very, very long time. And all of us are in this together. I see particularly the public-facing institutions, as you all are really on the front lines once again. And I think the way we have been addressing it, meaning we, all of us in Sacramento, as difficult as it is, I know that we will get through this as long as we work together. So I just thank you so much for everything you're doing. We have a crack team in Sacramento with the SAC-RT board and the staff and everybody there, the local elected officials. Everything you're doing is magnificent. And it's just a matter of, I think, with Sacramento, people talk about Sacramento all the time and what we're doing. And it's, to me, because we're California, we manage somehow to move faster, which we have to do, and take some chances, which we have to do some time too. But I do appreciate everything you're doing. And I know it's a difficult time. All of us are working at a distance and teleworking. And I am, for one, would love to be able to get close to people and all of that. But that's not possible at this time. So all of this is kind of a new normal, which I know that we'll find out what's going to be happening as we look at what normal is going to be. And I know that particular SAC-RT is looking ahead to see what will the normal be? What do we have to do in order to open up safely? What type of transit, what type of mobility will we need? And I really feel that what's going on now has been truly a challenge, but also an opportunity too. So thank you so much for everything.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Thank you for your support for SAC-RT, your leadership on these issues, and for all the work the delegation from the region has done to support our agencies. Do you have time for a question or two from the board?
Certainly. I
Do
have a
any
little
board-
time. I have to go on another conference call, but I will also tell you that we were looking ahead on the schedule, and appropriations will be coming up soon. We're not too sure if we're going to be doing it. Right now, everything's going to be virtual, but appropriations will be coming up soon in July. And we'll also be looking at T&I too. So that's going to be very important towards the end of the month. So that is something that there is a bill. It's a good bill. And there's a lot of funding in there for transit, and looking ahead to what California is doing with electric vehicles and things like that. So you'll be happy with that. And we're pleased to be moving forward with that in probably the end of the month.
Great, thank you. I saw Director Budge unmuted. Did you have a question, Director Budge, for the Congresswoman?
Steve, I do. Doris, hello. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hi. How are you?
Just fine. Thank you so much. You know, our only concern with the amounts of money coming out of the Congress has been that it doesn't go directly to smaller cities. You have to be 500,000. And there are a significant number of cities in this country that are well under 500,000 population. And so we're supposed to rely on the counties, but the question is whether anybody has given any serious thought to providing something to other cities based on population.
Absolutely. In fact, that was one of the things that we didn't like about the first bill. And this next bill is for cities and counties and the state, but the money will go directly to the smaller cities. So it won't be limited to the 500,000. And we'll have CDBG money and things like that. So it's something that the HEROES Act that we just passed, that the Senate hasn't acted on yet, but it does go to the smaller jurisdictions. So it's, Rancho Cordova, Citrus Heights, Elk Grove, and West Sacramento, and all the cities I heard from, they'll be included in this one.
That would be welcome. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director Budge. One more question before we say goodbye and thank you to the Congresswoman. Anyone? No, we're just very glad for your work, Congresswoman, and appreciate you joining us in this extra special format. And we look forward to seeing you soon too.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You all are doing a great job, and we'll check in later as things move along here in the appropriations process, and also the T&I bill too.
And thank you for your great
so
staff here in Sacramento. Thank you, Congresswoman. Have a great night.
Absolutely. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. Back to the consent calendar. Thank you, everyone, for allowing us to welcome the Congresswoman. Any questions on the consent calendar from the board? Otherwise, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll move the item.
Second.
We have a motion from Director Howell, a second from Director Budge. I do want to say, I believe, Linda, we could read into the record the message back to the constituent who asked about the Los Rios issue, if you want to do that now, or we could save that for later.
Whatever you like, Steve. I wasn't 100% sure whether it was intended to be public comment or intended to be a comment on this particular item. So
Why don't we, just for the sake of it, Cindy, do you mind reading that response or that comment into the record now? And then we'll give a quick staff response.
Okay, I will do that. So the email is from Colleen Whalen. The subject is RT has not mailed universal transit passes to Los Rios Community College students. Los Rios Community College gave RT the list of all enrolled students who should receive the summer session sticker for an RT Universal Transit Pass. Those stickers should have been received by June 1st. It is now June 8th and still RT has not mailed out the stickers for the Universal Transit Passes to Los Rios Community College students. I have called the ER administrative office every day, twice a day for the entire EEK, and no one ever answers your phone. No one bothers to rerun phone calls. Do not use COVID as an excuse. There is no excuse. This is undefinable. Offices that sent employees home to work from their homes return calls the same day or within no less than 24 hours. I have been forced to waste $6 a day buying RT daily passes for the last week because RT has been negligent and not postal mailed the universal transit passes to Los Rios Community College students. I am at the point that I think I should blow more money to buy a monthly pass because I have no faith in the RT ineptitude. Please mail my RT Universal Transit Pass sticker today, Colleen Whalen. P.S. On June 6th at 4:00 p.m., I called RT customer service and asked them what time the last GOLD train would leave 29th Street Light Rail. RT staff told me 6:44 p.m. However, the entire GOLD line shut down at 6 p.m. I tried my app to get a Smart Ride shuttle van, but they refused to pick me up. It took 2 hours trying to get Lyft, Uber, or a taxi. No one would pick me up. Finally, after 2.5 hours, I got a Uber to drive me home and wasted $9. Why cannot RT give factual information to riders? Why cannot your staff perform rudimentary tasks such as mailing out universal transit passes on time? I have been financially harmed by RT's incompetence. Forced to buy $6 daily passes for an entire week since he failed to postal mail universal transit passes to Los Rios students. If RT customer service had been competent and honest to tell me the truth that on June 6th, the entire light rail was closing at 6, I would have not gone grocery shopping and bought 50 pounds of groceries and wound up stranded for 2.5 hours and wasted $9 in an Uber ride. Badly done. Would you like the response now, Chair?
Just a quick response.
Okay. The response was the Los Rios Community College District has over 20,000 students enrolled for the summer session. As a result of Los Rios moving to distance-based learning, students were not able to pick up their SAC-RT pass in person. To remedy the situation, students were notified via mail and email to complete a request form with their mailing address if they wanted a pass to be mailed to them. All students who completed the form and requested a pass were sent one. To date, SAC-RT has not received a completed form from Ms. Whalen, so no pass was mailed to her. Now that it has been brought to our attention, we will follow up and quickly issue her a pass.
Thank you, Cindy. All right. Barring any other comments from the board.
Steve, just a question, not specifically on that, but as far as our policy on public comment, and if somebody sent us a 20-page public comment, would we be reading that? I mean, we have some limitations when we do oral. I'm just wondering.
I think because we had limited comment, as long as it didn't stray past 3 minutes, which I realized that was probably past 2. I think we would just try to manage it that way. We have received very little either a public comment on not on the agenda or the particular item, so it wasn't indicated.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, go ahead.
I just offer, in light of Director Schneer's question, as chair of the board this year, chair, during a very odd time in our history where we cannot have the public in our chambers, the protocol that we've established and stressed with the public is that if you wish to have your comment read into the record, please let us know in writing. And then we're charged with managing to see that request is read or summarized such that it doesn't go beyond the 2 or 3 minute mark that we usually extend for oral public comment.
I think that's great advice. And if we start to get more comments, I think we'll probably be more linear about it, more managed. But at this point, we've only got a couple. So thank you. Any other comments on the consent calendar? We have a motion and a second. All right, Cindy, will you call the roll?
Director Budge,
Yes.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Howell,
Yes.
Director Hume,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Aye.
Director Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Miller,
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Schneer,
Aye.
Director Cerna,
Aye.
Chair Hansen.
Aye.
With that, we have a quorum at 100 votes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Next item.
The next item is item 5.1, public hearing and adoption of the fiscal year 2021 operating and capital budgets. You are advised by staff to please accept public comments. And we have 2 resolutions for your approval. Approving the Sacramento Regional Transit District fiscal year 2021 operating and capital budgets and vote allocations, and resolution authorizing the filing of the fiscal year 2021 Transportation Development Act claim based on the adopted budget. And here to present is Brent Berniker.
Welcome, Brent.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you all. So thank you, Director Hansen and members of the board. Before I start, I first want to just thank all of you for your leadership during this tough time. It's important for you as leaders to help as much as you can during these challenging times, and people really appreciate your vision and your help. So I just want to say that. I'll start with the budget now slides. With that, we've completed the FY21 operating and capital budget despite all the challenges that we've been facing. The good news is that even with this COVID-19 challenges, we've been able to operate the system and we've been able to stay financially very strong. In fact, if you look at our reserves, we've gotten those to the highest level that we've seen in a long time. We've been able to keep it at that level, and up through February of this fiscal year, we were actually able to produce a pre-COVID surplus of $5 million. So that's really great for you guys. It's great for RT and the community. Things have been going on really well. Now that COVID has hit, we've reached some challenges. So if we can go to the next slide, Cindy, please. See, or Adam, if you can, there you go. Thank you. So what we've done is we've actually seen that COVID has impacted the majority of our revenue sources so far. But despite that, we've come up with a balanced budget. The budget was balanced without service reductions, without layoffs, without furloughs, without salary reductions. So this is a big step. In addition to that, we've actually done some minor service expansions in the Smart Ride. The other thing we've done is we've prioritized the customer first. And so what we've done is we've done that process through business optimization. The other thing that I'd like to point out is for this fiscal year and next fiscal year, we plan on using all $95 million of federal CARES Act funds to make sure that our employees and our vendors are being paid appropriately for even despite that loss of revenues. And then the last thing I'd like to mention is despite the lack of revenues that we are seeing, we are keeping our customers' fares consistent. We're not making any changes to those fares. So that's really important. Next slide, please. This next slide is just a slide that shows the changes from the last budget. you have two columns, the budget from the last slide and then the current budget. We were facing a $4.8 million gap. And as you can see on the slide, we were able to make some changes to make some cost efficiencies in some areas. And in some areas, such as insurance, costs have been rising. So we had to make a lot of puts and takes, but we've got it done and the budget is balanced. So that's the good news. So if you look at the slide, you'll see that our budget now, our operating budget is $200.3 million. Our capital budget is $195.8 million. And then you can go to the next slide, Cindy. And that's basically it. The next few slides you've actually seen in the last presentation, so there's no need for me to repeat the information. It concludes my presentation, and I'd like to turn it back to you, Director Hansen, if there's any questions.
Thank you, Brent. Do any board members have questions? Don't see anybody on the phone. Don, because I know that you're on the phone. Do you have any questions? You might be muted. Cindy, can you unmute Don just to be sure?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, Don, do you have any questions?
No, thanks, Steve. No.
Okay. Do we have any public comment?
Yes, we have one public comment from Mike Birnbaum. Would you like me to read it?
In a limited way, just if you can summarize it. I know it was provided to all the directors earlier, trying to take a hint from Director Chenier and Cerna earlier.
Could it possibly be done in 3 minutes?
It's actually 238 words, so the answer is yes.
If he delivered it, it would be.
Could we do it in song?
I don't want to create a workplace that's unhospitable to our clerk, so let's just let her read it.
Thank you, Chair Hansen. Staff has worked very hard and smart in crafting the fiscal year 2021 operating and capital budgets for our consideration this evening. The issue paper is very detailed and clearly spells out how 7.3 million revenue increase was achieved. I therefore would like to make a motion approving the staff recommendation with the added language that staff bring back an FY 2021 amended budget on a time and date specific at 5:30 p.m. on Monday, August 24th, that specifically would pinpoint any additional revenue resulting in the HEROES Act at the federal level and the August budget revise at the state level, now knowing that the 2020 tax deadline date was previously extended from April 15th to July 15th as a direct result of COVID-19. And that said date and time specific meeting be held in the boardroom with the blessing of the Sacramento County Health Director, Peter Bylanson, even if everyone present in the boardroom will be required to wear a face covering. I will make myself available during tonight's meeting by watching it on my iPad and freeing my iPhone up so that you can contact me immediately for any other further questions, clarifications, or additional information. Sincerely, Mike Birnbaum. And that is the only public comment that I have.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We'd now entertain a motion to open and close the public hearing and adopt the budget.
Rick Jennings will make the motion to open and close the public hearing and adopt the budget.
And I'll second that.
Second.
I think Carrie was the quickest on that one. I'll give it to Director Howell as the second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Director Budge?
Yes.
Director Harris?
Aye.
Director Howell?
Yes.
Director Hume?
Aye.
Director Jennings?
Aye.
Director Kennedy?
Aye.
Director Miller?
Aye.
Director Natoli?
Aye.
Director Chenier?
Aye.
Director Cerna?
Aye.
Chair Hansen?
Aye.
With that, we have a quorum at 100 votes.
All right, thank you. Next item, please.
The next item is item 7.1.
Do we have any public comment for item 6?
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Public addresses the board on matters not on the agenda. And yes, I have 2 comments.
Please go ahead, Madam Clerk.
One is from Mike Birnbaum. Greetings, Chair Hansen and members of the board. On Saturday, for our Capital Corridor riders watching this evening, BART will extend its Warm Springs South Fremont terminus to a new station terminus at Berryessa, North San Jose. Valley Transportation Authority will offer all-day express bus service to the San Jose Diridon station from Berryessa. On Sunday, SAC-RT will make system-wide service improvements, bringing service to approximately 80 to 85% of normal daily service levels. The following day, 3 existing Smart Ride zones will be expanded. Log on to SAC-RT's website for details on the June 14th, 15th service improvements. On Wednesday, June 17th, the Capital Corridor Board is scheduled to hold their next meeting. As of Sunday, June 7th, their board package did not indicate whether this meeting will be WebEx or live meeting that would take place at 10 a.m. in the BART boardroom, which is located in downtown Oakland. Finally, the next San Joaquin JPA board meeting will be held on Friday, July 24th. As of now, it is a bit too soon to know where the meeting will be held at or if it will be a web conference meeting. I will send staff a separate communication in the evening on July 17th to confirm what the meeting schedule and situation will be. Mr. Birnbaum also followed up with an email letting everybody know that the Capital Corridor Joint Powers Authority meeting would be a virtual meeting. That is the first comment that I have. The second comment that I have is from Safi Munif, SAC-RT Board of Directors. It is an honor to bring your attention the purpose for this public comment. As a Sacramentan youth who frequents public transit, I appreciate that the service is still available during times of COVID-19. However, while safety precautions are being taken for the health of bus riders, I find it imperative that safety measures be increased for passengers as well, beyond social distancing guidelines. Installing touch-free automatic hand sanitizing dispensers near the entryway of the bus would not only combat the spread of potentially harmful bacteria, but would also give passengers a great sense of security and increase the overall cleanliness of the vehicle. Without a doubt, hand sanitizing dispensers are an inexpensive cost compared to the risk of a SAC-RT passenger contracting the virus and spreading it to others. Needless to say, this would be a crucial component to add to the already impressive list of measures being done to ensure the safety of all. Thank you for your consideration and work so far.
All right, thank you. And I know staff have prepared responses to those individuals. So why don't we move on to the next item, Madam Clerk?
Thank you. Item 7.1, resolution. Fiscal year.
Sorry, we've got somebody. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Fiscal year 2020 performance evaluation and third amendment to the employment agreement with Henry Lee as SAC-RT's General Manager CEO, presented by Shelley Valentin.
Good evening, board and everyone watching tonight. The Board of Directors met in closed session on May 11th to conduct the General Manager's annual performance evaluation. Prior to that meeting, supporting documents were provided to the directors, and these documents are attached to the staff report for this item. The board has determined that the GM has met and in most cases exceeded the key performance goals set for fiscal year 2020. Based upon the closed session discussions and the direction from the board, before you is a resolution to accept the fiscal year 2020 GM performance evaluation and approve an annual merit increase of 3%, which is similar to what the management and confidential employee group and other employee union groups are receiving. The new cost associated with the 3% increase is $9,257 annually. The resolution also proposes a third contract amendment to authorize the GM to use vacation accrued above the cap, in part as time off and in part to be deposited to his 401k account. This is in effect for a limited time through December 31st, 2020. In addition, the amendment seeks to correct 2 drafting errors in the language of the first contract amendment. And that concludes my summary. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment on this item?
We do not.
Directors, are there any comments, or would somebody like to make a motion?
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion from Director Budge, a second from Director Howell. Mr. General Manager, thank you for all of your hard work. I think we very much appreciate you and all what you do and the staff does, but there's a very clear desire for you to take a vacation for the first time in your tenure here, a real vacation. And so with that, I'll ask without any other comments from the board members, going once, going twice. All right, we'll call the roll, Madam Clerk.
Director Budge,
Yes.
Director Harris,
Aye.
Director Howell,
Yes.
Director Hume,
Aye.
Director Jennings,
Yes.
Director Kennedy,
Aye.
Director Miller,
Aye.
Director Natoli,
Aye.
Director Chenier,
Aye.
Director Cerna,
Aye.
Chair Hansen.
Aye, Madam Clerk.
With that,
Congratulations.
we have a quorum at 100 votes.
All right, next item, please.
Next item is item 8.1, the General Manager's Report.
I first want to thank Congresswoman Matsui for joining us today and providing those wonderful comments. And she is a tremendous leader, and I would be remiss if I did not thank her for her support of the CARES Act, which has provided nearly $100 million in federal funds to Sacramento last couple months. She is a steadfast champion of public transportation, and we could not ask for a better leader for the Sacramento region in Washington, D.C. So good evening, Mr. Chair and the members of the board. It is good to see your face, and I hope that soon we can resume board meetings in the Sacramento chambers. Before I get to my updates, I want to take a moment to address what we have witnessed across the nation and in our own community over the last couple of weeks. It is a painful and a powerful reminder that a great deal more work remains ahead of us. At Sacramento, we believe that freedom and progress are built on mobility. We create opportunities accessible for all, and we are integral to improving people's lives, regardless of race, economic standing, or physical ability. And I cannot stress enough the importance of open communication to help our employees cope during these difficult times. We held a War Staff Town Hall meeting last week. A couple hundred of employees attended the town hall meeting, and the remaining close to 1,000 employees watched the video afterwards. Last week, the meeting was designed to hear from our employees, and we will be setting up a subcommittee to further engage with employees on how we can improve as an agency moving forward. So my first update is regarding to COVID-19 and service restoration. While we have been remaining vigilant in monitoring the day-to-day demonstration activities across the region, we have not lost focus on being proactive to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We have been very fortunate that to date, we do not have a single confirmed case of COVID-19 among our 1,400 employees, full-time and contract employees, more than 1,400. It is through our collective efforts and our strong commitment to keeping the safety and well-being of our employees a top priority. From aggressive cleaning procedures to effectively transitioning to teleworking and providing the right equipment and PPEs, to our frontline workers. In May, the CDC released a roadmap for how public transit agencies can fully reopen. Staff has reviewed that guidance, and I'm very pleased to say that we have very much implemented almost all of the recommendations. With the safety and the well-being of our employees in mind, we are preparing to implement the next phase of our business recovery plan, a gradual and careful transition to normal business operations. As the economy reopens, I must underscore that the public is looking to us to provide reassurance the service is as safe as possible and social distancing is followed. We will welcome riders with the highest level of customer service possible and strive to boost our customers' confidence in public transit. And as we briefed the board in last board meeting, over 80% of our customers in our survey are satisfied with our service, which is way higher than the industry benchmark. Like all public transit agencies across the country, we have seen a significant ridership decline across all of our service types. Last week, we began to see approximately a 5% ridership increase over the previous week, and we expect this trend to continue as the economy opens up further. The upcoming Sunday, we will be restoring bus service level to approximately 80% of Sacramento's regular service level. Right now, we're at 60%. And we will include early start time for most weekday bus routes, additional trips at the end of the route, and will add frequency during peak hours. Additionally, 3 of Sacramento's smart ride zones will be expanding to help customers with essential travel to destinations around the region while creating a safer transit environment. And we anticipate in September, we will restore all of our service to normal level after we have talked to our unions, especially the ATU, because September is our full service run up for the repeat time. My next note is about the Public Agency Transportation Safety Plan. The FTA requires that agencies receiving federal funds develop a public transportation agency safety plan by the end of 2020, by the end of this calendar year, which includes the processes and procedures to implement safety management systems and the safety performance targets. We expect all employees to perform at the highest safety standards with full support from the management and from all the key stakeholders. And we hold staff accountable for their actions to ensure that every customer has a safe experience when they utilize our system. In recent years, we have been aggressively seeking light rail safety and security improvements through enhanced leadership at light rail, strong performance and accountability, and pursuing massive light rail modernization efforts. In the last 2 years, we have made serious disciplinary actions on some light rail speeding violations. As a result of the strong accountability in place, we have not really seen any speedings anymore since about 9 months ago. And we received some great comment from CPUC for our strong measurement we put together. With the great teamwork, we have almost completed this plan and are about to submit our plan to FTA soon. And we plan to present the plan to board in next month or so. And we plan to present the board this time, but it's better for us to present the board next time. And also, this is Sacramento's last board meeting before we launch our ADA paratransit service in-house called Sacramento Go. The Sacramento Go transition team has been working diligently to prepare for a seamless transition of the service on June 28th by working very closely and very collaboratively with our partner Transit, Paratransit Inc. The CEO of the PI asked me to say if we ask her to share with the board our collaboration in the past 6 months or so. I asked her to present that to board maybe in next time when service transition, transition to the to RT. So we have more to say at that time. And before I ask our planning chief, Laura Ham, to start SACA2Go presentation, I would like to show 2 videos. One is called SACA2 Heroes, Moving Heroes, and another one is regarding SACA2Go transition effort. Laura, Cindy, please show the videos. And after that, Laura, you can take over.
It was there and now it's gone.
It worked during rehearsal.
Stage fright.
Vice Chair Miller, you must have been watching us because we did rehearse.
Cindy or Adam?
We're checking on it now. We're having a little bit of technical difficulty.
Maybe while we wait for that, Henry, I might just add a few comments to the ones that you made at the beginning of your presentation. Over the last 7 days, in particular here in our region, we've seen unprecedented protests in reaction to the killing of George Floyd, what happened also in Georgia and in Tennessee. And I just think that it's very important that we remember the role of transit agencies at the forefront of the civil rights movement. Through desegregation and through so much else, our employees and our riders, I think, continue to count on us to lead the way. I know that we continue to work hard to make meaningful transit access a possibility throughout not just Sacramento County, but we've been working as well with Yolo County through not just airport service, but also through the Causeway Connector. And over the next period of time, board members, if you have ways that you think that our agency, our riders and our drivers and partners can contribute towards advancing these conversations, I welcome you to share those ideas with me or with Henry. I think we want to not just be confronted with the need to suspend service, but find new ways to provide service to close the gaps in transit access and to help heal some of the long-term inequities based on race and other things that we find in our region. So our agency is very much committed to that. Thank you, Henry, for your leadership. I know we have many of our directors who are engaged in that work, but I do invite you to share your ideas as we all work together into this next phase of how we all can help make our agency, our city, and our region, our cities and our region better.
Thank you.
All right, we can have the video now.
We have to keep moving. We know we play a critical role to help those that must travel get to where they need to go, transporting people to essential jobs and keeping critical functions in the Sacramento region in operation. Since COVID-19 transformed the world, a lot has changed. For us here at SAC-RT, we have modified our service levels to meet changing ridership patterns while ensuring proper social distancing. We cannot stress enough that the safety, health, and well-being of our employees and customers is a top priority. Our frontline team members are some of the most dedicated people you will ever meet. True heroes, putting the Sacramento community before themselves each and every day. Not all heroes wear capes. Ours wear uniforms. We're giving them the personal protective equipment to make their workspace as safe as possible, like masks, gloves, and hand sanitizer. And we are also sanitizing our buses, light rail vehicles, and facilities every day. We are making sure our bus drivers have ways to maintain social distancing. We have installed plexiglass and detachable chain barriers by the driver's seat, requiring rear door boarding on buses, and reducing touch points on light rail vehicles by automatically opening doors for customers during peak hour commutes at every station. We are doing everything on our part to keep the public safe. However, protection against COVID-19 is everyone's responsibility. The most important thing people can do to help flatten the curve and reduce exposure is to stay home and only travel for essential reasons. SAC-RT was there for you before COVID-19. We are here now, and we will continue to be here for you when this is all over to keep the Sacramento region moving forward. Thank you for your continued confidence in us. And again, we can't thank our frontline employees enough. Heroes moving heroes.
We also have
Very
a
nice
video on SAC-RT Go.
Are these going to be on the website or on social media for the board members to share and watch over and over and over again?
I believe that they are, but we can certainly check.
Okay.
Yeah, they are.
Actually, if that's a positive, we could link it to our website at the city.
Yeah, if staff could send it out the links to the board, I think that's a great idea. Director Budge, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
The Sacramento Regional Transit District is busy keeping the region moving during the COVID-19 pandemic. And we're also preparing for the launch of SAC-RT Go paratransit services on Sunday, June 28th. I'd like to introduce our SAC-RT Go leadership team. Janice Labrato, Director of Accessible Services, Dan Tao, Director of Community and Contract Bus Services, Kathy Sajan, Paratransit Operations Manager, John Lee, Assistant Paratransit Operations Manager, and Wendy Mooten, Assistant Paratransit Operations Manager. Our SAC-RT Go team is working hard getting ready for the transition, and we want to make sure you know you will be hearing from us soon if you haven't already.
Hi, I'm Carmen Alba, AVP of Operations here at SAC-RT. I want to thank you for taking the time today to watch this video to learn more about the transition process for SAC-RT Go paratransit services. I know these are difficult times, but also want you to know that we are ready for you to begin this service on June 28th.
Because of COVID-19, we can't hold an on-site hiring event. However, our Human Resources Department has posted open positions and is urging applicants to apply online using our electronic application.
Hello, my name is Isis. I'm a Human Resource Analyst here at SAC-RT. We look forward to meeting you and receiving your application. Please visit our website at www.sacrt.com and visit our career page where we have all of our current opportunities. If you do have any questions about the application process or just about the position, please give us a call at 916-556-0298. We look forward to receiving your application and we will see you soon.
Hi, I'm Kathy Sajan, Paratransit Operations Manager. You may recognize me from Paratransit Incorporated. I am here now at SAC-RT working on the paratransit service transition. I'm excited to be here and look forward to welcoming you to our team. For those who have not applied, please do. We are looking for operators, reservationists, mechanics, dispatchers, and trainers.
We plan on beginning new employee orientation sessions and training programs for new SAC-RT Go team members in May. We are working with Paratransit Inc. on the training schedule to help make that transition seamless.
Hi, I'm Jamie Adelman, the AVP of Finance and Treasury for SAC-RT. We're so excited for the launch of our SAC-RT Go service on June 28th. But to be ready for that, we need all of you trained and ready to go. SAC-RT is ready to issue personal services contracts to each prospective employee. The PSCs do two things for everyone. One, it starts your date for benefits eligibility. We want to make sure that nobody has a lapse in their medical benefits due to this transition. And two, it enables SAC-RT to pay you for your training time. So please work with your HR representative and respond timely to any requests. We're very excited to have you join the SAC-RT team.
For more information, visit sacrtgo.com.
I know it's a conflict, but any board members who want to apply for a job, you'll have to quit the board in order to do that. But I know we all want to apply.
We have already trained those people on. I'm just kidding. So this actually is about a month or 2 months ago. We prepared.
Yeah.
The next is
okay, good. So you're not taking
Laura?
applications from board members anymore.
No, you guys overqualified.
I doubt that. I doubt that.
From the directors.
Work.
Go ahead, Laura.
Okay. So the board approved a service delivery and funding arrangement between SACRT and Paratransit Inc. this past January. The agreement established that effective June 28, 2020, SACRT will operate the complementary ADA paratransit it is required to provide as a fixed route transit operator, as well as non-ADA service that exceeds minimum ADA requirements, which was previously operated by Paratransit Inc. Since the passage of the ADA, the non-ADA demand response service has been provided to ADA eligible individuals and coordinated with SACRT's ADA service. PI will continue to provide private contract transportation to social service agencies, travel training, and other coordinated services throughout the county. Thank you to Paratransit CEO Tiffany Fink and her staff for coordinating with us on all the details of the transition and helping to ensure a convenient and seamless handover of the service for our customers. SACRT and PI have agreed to an equitable split of current state and local funding earmarked for the delivery of transit services to seniors and individuals with disabilities. These funds include TDA Article 4.5 and Measure A revenues. 70% will be allocated to SACRT and 30% will be allocated to PI beginning in fiscal year 2021. In support of the service delivery roles agreed upon between SACRT and Paratransit, the SACOG Board of Directors co-designated SACRT and PI as Consolidated Transportation Service Agencies, or CTSAs, on May 21st, 2020. State legislation enacted approximately 40 years ago, AB 120, requires the consolidation of social service transportation in a specified geography through the designation of CTSAs. The legislation requires the regional transportation planning agency, such as SACOG, to designate the CTSA. This designation also makes RT and PI eligible to receive the TDA Article 4.5 and Measure A funds allocated to the CTSAs in Sacramento County. SACOG also approved continuing to allocate the full 5% of the available TDA Article 4.5 funds for community transit services in Sacramento County for fiscal year 2021, affirming the split of this funding 70-30 between SACRT and PI. Sacramento Transportation Authority will also consider an item this week to begin making allocations of existing Measure A funds consistent with the funding split agreement. And an average of 4.5% of Measure A revenues are allocated to the CTSA over the life of the measure. With the funding streams in place, we look forward to delivering the overall ADA demand response program in a convenient, efficient, and effective manner. I'd now like to hand it over to Jamie Adelman and Carmen Alba of our SACRT Go team to provide you with more detail on our preparation to launch the service on June 28th.
Hi, good evening, Chair Hansen and members of the board. If y'all could pull up our PowerPoint presentation, please, Cindy or Adam. There it is, thank you. So we're really excited, 20 days, it's coming up fast. We've been talking about this transition for a long time, but here we are 20 days out and we're excited and we're working really hard to make sure that we're ready for that service transition on the 28th. Next slide, please. So we wanted to put a little snapshot here. This is actually a magnet that we're going to be sending out to all of the active riders currently in our databases, which is at about 5,000, shouldn't say active riders, but active participants and eligible riders of the service. And we wanted to present this to them to give them the phone number. That's one of the biggest questions that we had through the open houses that we held in the December and January timeframe is, who do I call? So we're very happy to present the phone number here, 321-BUS, select option 2. We'll get them to everything that they need for the SACRT Go services. We will have a soft launch of this number and service on June 26th, because that's when people will call and start making reservations for launch day on June 28th. Next slide, please. On this slide, we have our transition team. You saw them a little bit ago just in that video, but real quick, we have Carmen Alba, our AVP of Operations, currently our acting VP of Operations, myself, Dan Tao, Janice Lobrato, Kathy Sajan, John Lee, and Wendy Mouton. Next slide, please. Staffing. This is obviously a big one. It's going to take a big team to make sure that we can carry out this service effectively. So right now we're staffing for 10 dispatchers, 8 specialists, 3 trainers, 85 to 115 operators, and that's scalable right now depending on the service due to the COVID-related ride reductions, and 8 mechanics and 6 service workers. And like Henry said, we are doing training. We held trainings over the weekend, and we've got more coming up this week to get everybody trained up and ready to go. Next slide, please. There's a lot on this slide, so I'm not going to read everything to you, obviously. I just think it's really important to identify how many different departments it takes and how much interaction and collaboration it takes within SAC-RT to make a service transition like this happen. It really takes help from everybody. This time last year, we were working on the Elk Grove annexation, or excuse me, the Elk Grove service transition, and I think that went really well, and it was a nice, smooth transition. And we're hoping for the same on June 28th this year. Next slide, please. Fair Media, this is obviously a big one for our riders. So we have Fair Media ready. It's ready to sell. Tickets are available now. We have the $5 single ride and the 60 ride monthly pass. And there really was no change to the Fair Media other than we eliminated the 44 ride pass and actually gave the benefit of being able to ride fixed route service to the 60 ride monthly pass. So we try to improve it for our riders during this process. Next slide, please. At this point, I'll turn it over to my co-project manager, Carmen Alba.
Good evening, Chair Hansen, members of the board. My first slide here is the SAC-RT Go fleet will be comprised of 120 vehicles. So that's 20 more than Paratransit Inc. used for their service. We will be splitting these vehicles across 4 different yards. So that's one reason for that. And we're also looking to do a lot of the service in-house. 80 of the vehicles are new vehicles. They're 2019 and 2020 cutaways. We should be receiving the last few this week, tomorrow actually. And the other 40 we're getting from the PI vehicles that will be returned. 100 vehicles will be returned, and we've selected the 40 vehicles that are in the best condition. Below, you'll see a picture of our new vehicles, and that's in our south lot. And to the right, you'll see a picture. This picture is in our Florin location, what will be our new Florin location at PI, and we will store 50 vehicles there. Next slide, please. Speaking of storing 50 vehicles, there was a lot of collaboration involved in this project. We will be maintaining, PI will be maintaining 50 vehicles, including cleaning, fueling, and maintenance. We will also be dispatching those vehicles from that location. We have our driver run cut right now. Looks like we're going to have 38 runs to start with. We're going to pull out Monday through Friday there, not on Saturday and Sunday. We're looking to do that from our main location. As you see the pictures there on the right, and those are the spaces that we will be using, leasing for our employee assignment window and break room. Our dispatchers will be dispatching out of a centralized location here at Main. Next slide, please. So dispatch will dispatch out of the SAC-RT Go Operations Center. That's here in Main between our main building and our engineering building. On the left side, it will be the dispatch center, and on the right side will be reservations. And we had to make this change because of the new social distancing measures. Initially, they were both going to be on one side and the other side was going to be training. But as everybody knows, we had to, it's not business as usual. So we had to ensure the safety of our dispatchers and reservation. As there below, you see a picture of Jamie. She's in front of our sign there and our logo. And to the right, you see our facilities team and our IT folks working on that. That was a couple of days ago that call center is actually set up now. Next slide, please. This is our eco lane. I think this was one of the most important things that we were wanting to make sure that we got right. That includes the setting up eco lane and transitioning over all the data from Paratransit Inc.'s Trapeze system. Now we're using eco lane in Elk Grove right now. So we know this system, we're just tweaking it because we set up a different server for this. Most of our staff have completed eco lane university, and our new dispatchers and reservationists will start training on that. That's the pre-training before the EcoLane live training happens starting on June 22nd. That's a 2-week training. There you see the 4 locations that we're going to be pulling out of, and that's the McClellan location, the downtown location, Hazel, and Florin. And just to give you an idea, in McClellan, we're going to have 30 vehicles. In downtown, we're going to have 35, 5 at Hazel, and 50 at Florin. Next slide, please. So new employee orientation, or NEO class, started June 4th, and it goes through June 20th. And these orientations in classrooms are for PI applicants. Again, due to COVID, we changed the way we do business. So here to the left, you'll see Lydia delivering the drug and alcohol in a different format via video. And then to the right, you'll see Greg, and he's delivering our discrimination and harassment prevention training. We're about 40% done with our training. We saw a lot of eager applicants. It seems like the transition, similar to what we saw in Elk Grove, people are happy to transition to this. It was really exciting, really excited to see everyone, especially these days with COVID, and they're happy about this transition. Next slide, please. So this picture was taken at 7 a.m. I happened to be arriving to work, and I saw Wade, and he's training one of our new employees. This was the behind the wheel assessment, and we did one-on-one assessments. We did 2 at a time, but one-on-one assessments, and we're looking good. As far as maintenance, that training doesn't start until later in the month on June 20th. Next slide, please. Finally, customer outreach. We had our first set of open houses for our customers last fall. That picture there to the right is the one that we had. Second round of open houses was in January. And our third and final round will be later this month. Only this time we're going to have virtual open houses. We're also working on an online video that should be released very soon. And we're working on a newsletter. We all believe in over communicating, and hopefully that's what we're doing with our customers, because of course that's what this is all about. Again, 20 days and counting. We're excited about it. We're confident that it's going to go well. We have a few meetings. Some of the topics that we'll be discussing are plan Bs to make sure that everything goes smoothly. That concludes our presentation. We'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank the staff for all the hard work they're doing. I know we had originally planned on an early April transition, but I think out of a lot of wisdom, the July date seems to have worked out better. And the board members know that this is born out of an agreement that Henry and Tiffany worked very hard over, and I'm very happy to see that it's working thus far, and to see those pictures from Paratransit. I was there 2 weeks ago Friday to help deliver meals for Great Plates down at Paratransit, and we delivered meals in Oak Park. I told Jay about, but I heard a lot of very good things in my conversation with Paratransit's executive director, Ms. Fink. And so thank you, Pat, for continuing to serve on that board on behalf of RT. And I just think, it's a great time to be part of an agency that is more and more relevant every day in the lives of every person in the county. So unless there are questions from directors, we'll just say thank you.
Not a question, Chair, but I'll just pick up on the last statement that you made to say that the board of Paratransit voted to keep the current board intact through the end of the year, just to also help with the transition and institutional memory going forward.
I think they did that so you couldn't apply to be a driver.
It's probably true. I was hoping I might get one of those positions.
Yeah, no, you're definitely conflicted out. Any other comments? Thank you, Director. Ms. Budge?
Okay, so here again, I know that you all have been really good at sharing things that you needed the rest of the customers to know. So be sure to send any and all of this either to me or to our communications director, Maria Niestead. And what would be really helpful for us because of our geographic position would be to know or to have somebody reinforce what are the boundaries that they can pick up if there are any. We ran into this both with the original paratransit as well as with Smart Ride. So we'd really like to know, seriously, what are the boundaries that you all are planning to pick up? Okay?
Okay, thank you, Director Budge. Anything else?
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to thank Henry and Tiffany as well as in addition to members of the Paratransit Board. This whole transition went far more smoothly than I think any of us expected it to. So I appreciate all the hard work that I'm sure went into this.
There will still be a lot of work to go, not just to get up to launch date, but after, I'm sure. So thank you. Sorry, little Henry invaded.
Stop pinching that kid.
Nobody's pinching him. He's too big. Any other comments from the directors?
No.
Okay. Hey, Henry doesn't want to hear anymore. All right, thank you, Madam Clerk. Any further business?
I just wanted to see if Director Hume had anything to add to either the Paratransit Inc. board meeting summary or the San Joaquin JPA meeting summary that are listed under the general manager's report and in your package.
No, ma'am, but thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Any comments from the directors before we adjourn?
Nope. I'm going to bring my cat to the next meeting.
Anytime, as long as it's not the really big one.
It's that one, yeah.
Okay, well,
The tiger, is it?
all right. 6:43, I'll adjourn this meeting of the Sacramento Regional Transit Board. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Bye, thanks.
Good night.